So this is a course for software engineers. You want to become a developer. You want to do programming. I mean, that's part of it, okay? If you think that this is not what you want, then you can change to other courses that we have. We have cybersecurity, data science. Our AI course is coming up next year, I think. What else do we have? We have one more. Information systems, yes. Become an analyst and so on. I mean, you can't change now because you just started. But after semesters, if you want to change, you can. If you think that maybe being a programmer is not the right one for you. Otherwise, I assume you love programming. Am I right to assume that? Somehow, okay. I mean, maybe not always, but you have a passion to do coding, all right? Whether you know it or not, it's a different matter. Some of you may have background. How many of you have relevant background before IT? About half, normally. So the other half may not have relevant background. So those without the relevant background is okay. You have to speed up. You know, you need to, this is a 2-year course. You have to learn things at a faster pace. So during your summer holidays, it's time for you to brush up on some things as well. For those with background, that will be, it's helpful. But here we are continuing to learn more on it, okay? So we'll briefly talk more about all this afterwards. So this is a series of 4 units of software engineering. PRT581, some of you have done it last semester. This is on requirements. 5.2 is on testing. This is this unit. So in this unit, you'll learn a lot about testing. Not just manual testing, automated testing. You need to learn about tools as well, helping you with your non-functional testings. Okay, so we'll be learning a lot of tools. Security testing, you need to learn about 2 tools already. Usability testing will cover some aspects of it with some online tools as well. Performance testing, you need to learn another 1 or 2 tools, okay? So, and then we have automated testing. So all these are all tools that you need to use, all right? So be prepared to learn about all these tools. So time is very rushed. You know, how do you want to learn all this within such a short period of time? So you need to make sure that you keep up with all the work that you are given, all right? And that will be fine. 5.3 is about the whole process of software methodology. So you will learn to deal with external client to develop a product for them. So last year I have 4 groups. They have external client as well. So they need to deal with people from outside, your IT lecturers. How do you communicate with them to meet up with their expectations to build a working software? Okay. 5.5 is on .NET. .NET is requirement. I mean, it's used a lot in NT. So .NET, learning about .NET using C# is very good for you. Okay. So we have someone from the industry teaching this unit. So you'll be doing that later on. All right. So these are the 4 units related with software engineering, and then you may be doing your thesis or doing your or whatever units that's related to become a software engineer. So far, so good? Already? I hope you, Thursday, all right? This is only Thursday. So you should still feel energetic because your weekend is coming, okay? Not on Monday where you feel down and so on, okay? So this class is from 9 to 1. We'll have break in between. So normally the way I run my class is, first hour, I will have a lecture where I talk about the book, okay, with chapters. I will cover the thing. There's reading lists on LearnLine. You can go and read through it. The second hour is normally a tutorial. You have some tutorial tasks to do that may extend into the third hour with your prac. So depending on which week you have, some weeks have more things to do. So some of you are doing HIT 137 at the same time, right? Software now, learning Python programming. You have already downloaded VS Studio, right? I hope. We'll be using Python in this unit as well. In the past, I let students choose the language that they want, no more. Last year, I standardized all your work to be done in Python because you're learning Python anyway. And then the last hour normally is your group work. So every every week I will allocate about 1 hour for you to do your group work. So you can have discussion. In the first few weeks, it's quite busy as well because you need to get into your groups. You need to do a lot of preparation and so on. Okay. So roughly that's how I run it. I've booked 2 rooms, this room and the next room. Why? Because I'm supposed to have a full room here. I mean, there are some students who are not here yet. So come to this room first. I think I have about 60 of you. We should fit everyone. Everyone should fit in this room. We don't have to go to 17 where you just see a projector screen there. Okay. So everyone should fit here. One thing to say, if I speak too quickly or there's anything that's unclear, you need to let me know, because sometimes I don't know, you see. I will check with you, is everything okay? Otherwise, just, oh, Charles, that's not very clear. Can you repeat again? That would be fine, all right? Don't just sit there and get lost with what I'm trying to say. All good so far? So if there's anything that needs clarification, feel free to tell me. So for those who are online, I mean, just put it on a message. I would look at it from time to time. So there's a book that we're using, testing, because this is about testing. So your first unit, PRT581, is about requirements. So you set up requirements, documentation, and so on. In 582, we'll be looking at functional and non-functional testing, manual and automated testing. So at the end of it, you have to produce a report about the tests that you have done, the results, the analysis, and so on and so on. Okay. So on LearnLine, there's a reading list. You can click on it. Week 1, week 2, week 3, all the chapters are there. Click on it. You can start reading the book if you want to. All right. I mean, not if you want to. You should read the book. So there are other books that we use as well. So some expectations on my part. I mean, I do have some expectations. Although attendance, some students would like to ask, do I take attendance? No, I don't. But do you have to be here? Yes, I think you should. Why? Because we are doing a lot of activities and group discussion as well. If you're not here, you may do it at home, but there's a high chance you will not do it as well. And then you leave it for next week. So you're always behind time. And that will not be very good for you in the long run, because you're trying to catch up with a lot of things, because we have covered a lot of tools. And then you're like, okay, you come in at a certain time, you get lost with what we are trying to do. Week 3, I'm going to talk about unit testing. Week 2, we'll start using Python already. Okay. So every one of you will need to have your laptop with you as well. So you'll be behind time if you are not here and you have not catch up with what you are supposed to do. So I hope that you are here, catching up with all your stuff. Your friends should all be here as well. Especially with group work. In the past, I have groups who I don't see for a few weeks. Because normally I will go around in your group work to check with you in your progress. Okay. In this room as well, I have groups that disappear for 2-3 weeks. That is not very good. Okay. Because then, you can't show me what you have done. And the high chance is you did not do anything as well. So you're all behind time. So a lot of things that we are covering in this book, we are following the Agile methodology. Do you all know what that is? We'll talk about it later on. Some of you may have an idea. So we are building software, not during the last 3 days. So this is not like a piece of assignment. You try to complete it in the last 3 days before due date. That's not what Agile methodology is. You are doing it every time, every iteration, and you are showing your clients your progress. So this is very important when you move up to 5.3 and 5.5. Because you are dealing with clients, you need to show them what you're doing. You cannot say, no, you did not do anything. How does that, it doesn't look very professional, isn't it? When you meet up with your clients, you see. Or you have a no-show. I have that happening as well. Some students, they don't understand. And they no-show, they did not turn up and they did not explain why. The client is waiting. Why is that person not turning up? So I got feedback like this. You waste your chance in presenting yourself to an external client. That may give you a job later on. They can be even your referee in future, you see. So make use of the opportunity when you move up to your second year, okay? In 5.5, Nari is the lecturer. He has been introducing a lot of jobs to students as well. But because the students presented themselves well, he's working in the industry as a lead developer, you see. So, this is a chance for you. You want to go out to work, right? You want to be able to have a chance, to work in industries and in your related field, not in other other jobs, okay? In software engineering related fields, okay? So you need to be able to present yourself, to be professional. You need to show them the attitude as well. It's not whether you know how to code or not. That's part of it, but your attitude is very important as well, okay? So I do hope that you have your commitment in this unit as well, in all your units, actually. As international students, I've been telling, I was an international student many years back as well. I think I never skipped my class. I think except with cyclone, there's a special one. Cyclone warning, you are not supposed to come, okay? But as international students, if you fail the unit, it will cost you more to redo the unit. Make sense? How much is one unit? 3,000-4,000, right? How much is that? I don't know. The prices increases every time. About 4,000, right? Per unit. So it's going to cost you a lot if you fail one unit, right? Even if you work a lot, you can't fill in the hole. So your priority should be study first. You should make sure that you can pass or do well in your studies, and then work come after that, okay? So that's just an advice. I know you all need to survive, you need to integrate with the society as well, but your studies should always come first, okay? So these are your assessment. Your project plan is due week 3. As of last semester, all units, not just mine, you will have something due within the first few weeks. Okay, it's part of a requirement. So your project plan is due week 3. It's a plan about how you do your work. Okay, I will talk more about it later on. You have an individual unit testing report. So project plan is a group work. Unit testing report is an individual work. Okay, so you need to do some simple coding following test-driven development, and then with unit testing as well. Okay, so this is individual. Your group work has individual component as well, 30%. Otherwise, not everyone will get the same mark. Okay. Last year, my separation is between individual and group is not that distinct. So after feedback from students and so on, I would want all students are required to do their own functional and non-functional testings. It's not just like you have a friend who do all of security and the rest doesn't have to do anything. No. Every one of you needs to do something. This is to prepare you, so that you are comfortable with doing the testing. You cannot rely on someone else to do the testing for you. So in the unit, we'll cover different types of testing. So in the report itself, even though it's a group work, you have to do your own performance testing, usability testing, and security testings, okay? So lastly, plagiarism is not allowed. So you please do not share any of your work with your friends, not just for this unit, for any unit. This happened a lot of time. Can you please send me your document? And then you send it to your friend. You get yourself into trouble at the end of it, okay? Some programming, you pass your whole code to your friend, and your friend just made 1 or 2 changes. Do you think no one knows that it's the same thing? Just changing some of the variables or some of the things. Come on, it's very straightforward. The structure is exactly the same. By one look, everyone knows is that you copy from somewhere or from someone. So don't get yourself into trouble. You can help your friend, not that you can't, but don't pass them your soft copy. Never pass your soft copy to your friend, never. You can verbally help them, or show them certain bits, that's all. Never pass your soft copy. report-wise as well. Can you use AI? We have issues as well. I have issues last semester as well. I mean, I don't expect you to write a lot of things. You don't have to ask AI to help you to write your stuff, okay? You can easily, because what I'm asking you to do is what the test you have done, you know, and the results from the test. What's the point of asking AI to help you to write it yourself, you know? So this is to show that, okay, what tests you've done, you analyze your own thing and so on, okay? So have a registry for offenders, so don't get yourself into this trouble. Yes, if you have a question, just say out or type it in. Yes, you can say things if you want to. Is that clear, everyone? So there are a lot of tools now to check whether you have do the work yourself or you just generate that with ChatGPT or with other AI tools, okay? So this is getting more serious now, so don't get yourself into trouble. So far, so good. If anyone has any questions? I mean, just now, who raised their hand? Okay, if you have questions for those online, you can just write it in the chat. Let me just show you now some of the assessment item. So you have a group project, 60%. Of the 60%, 30% is individual component, 30% is group component, okay? So there are a list of 8 projects for you to choose from. I should have about 15, 16 teams, you know? There's about 60 of you. So each of you, there will be about 4 in a group, 4 or 5 roughly. So these are the 8 projects to choose from. Yes? Oh yeah. I mean, the documents, you can look at it later on. Yes, it's okay if you have not studied 5.1. 5.1 is on requirements. So 5.2 is mainly about testing, okay? So afterwards, you are to form your own groups. After you form your group, you need to choose one of the 8 topics here, okay? So if you go to LearnLine, I will show you how to choose the topics, okay? So the link here is giving you more information. So only the group leader is to do the selection. So in LearnLine, there's you can click on project selection, and then only the leader is to choose on behalf of the group, okay? First come, first serve, only 2 per group. So if you are a bit later, then you have to choose other topics, okay? They're actually quite similar, just that in different nature. They're all just web database application, that's all. This is to do with your automated testing later on. So this is a brief timeline. In week 1, you will do Form A. Form A is about forming your groups, your members, writing something about yourself, and so on, okay? And then after that, you need to do a project selection. And then every week is to help you with the progress of your project, okay? So you do about project details, your requirements, your user stories, usability testing, performance and security, automated testing, and so on, okay? So these are the details of the forms that we'll cover weekly. So at the end of it, you have to do submission. You have to submit a report, obviously, all your test files with robot framework. That's the framework we are using for automated testing. So there are a lot of the coding itself you write in robots. And then there will be a video presentation as well, 5 minutes. So you will not be presenting in the class. You have already recorded your 5 minutes video presentation, all right? And then after that, you will fill in a group evaluation form to evaluate your team members. So you can look at the marking rubric for more details. Let me just show you. So if you look at the rubric itself, so it will show you your group and individual component, okay? So some parts are group work, some parts are individual. So every one of you will need to do your own non-functional testing, functional testing, write about ethics consideration, and group evaluation. So just have a look at it later on to be clear of what the requirements are, all right? Any questions about this so far, about your group project? So the most urgent one that you have is your project plan, which is due week 3, okay? So in the plan itself, you need to talk about the following, the tests that you'll be doing in the 4 quadrants, okay? So these 4 quadrants will be covering it in the book, in the lectures later on. So how would you be doing all the tests? So you need to talk about it, all right? So it's just it's a plan, it's a high level plan. The rubrics will be here, so you'll be marked based on the rubric itself, all right? I think that's about all I want to talk about. Your individual work, I will talk about it later on. No hurry yet, right? It's due week 6, so we'll not talk about it now.